it's a lovely old tune, that. That's our signature tune now, you know, Chelsea pensioners. Nice to sit and listen to that. Mind you, that's about all we do now, sit about. Not much fighting anymore, except fighting for a bit of peace and quiet. Of course, we're all knocking on a bit now, you know. I often sit and think about all them girls I used to know. They must be a bit past it by now and all. Oh, they was lovely though, in their prime. All them years ago, I loved them all. I remember them two French girls. What was their names? Madeline and Millicent, yeah, that's it, yeah. Madeline came from Armentières Parlez-vous. Madeline loved the Navy and Army too. She surrendered every night, but she never went down without a fight. Inky Pinky Parlez-vous. Millicent came from Clapham Road, Waterloo. She was a girl who did what she ought to do. To officers she was always prone, but the privates they were left alone. Inky Winky Waterloo. Daisy, Daisy, how can we ever wed? You're so lazy, you never get out of bed. I think it would be much quicker if I brought along the vicar for the honeymoon this afternoon, and just let him say grace instead. Mary, Mary, live with her aunt at Crewe. Strong and hairy, stood about 6'2". When I told her I'd never marry, she changed her name to Harry. Her great big feet now pound the beat, 'cause she's one of our boys in blue. Katie was terribly matey. In the yard she would sweep me off me feet. But her father got into a lather, and he kicked me up the cobbled street. I first met Ivy when I was quite small. She was the other side of an 18-foot wall. She tried to entice me with a sweet night of sin. I got so excited, I pole vaulted in. I fell in love with Mary from the dairy, and little Mary fell in love with me. She was such a pretty sight in the car shed every night. The pull of every udder made me shudder with delight. She was the very cream of all the dairy, but I turned out to be the biggest clot. It's no wonder that I'm frail and I feel a little pale, 'cause she's milking me for everything I've got. Yes, there was always a lot of girls about in them days. Yeah, one girl I'll never forget, Phyllis Hooter, the Honourable Phyllis Hooter. She was a posh girl I met at the railway station. I had my dress uniform on. She didn't know I was just an ordinary bloke. She asked me to big dance up at her house. Yeah, we had a good old time there. There was a lot of girls there. Hundreds and hundreds. There was Jean, there was June, there was Janet, there was Jennifer and Jane and Joyce and Jacqueline and Juliet and Joan. There was Lily who was silly, there was Bessie who was messy, there was Annie with her granny and Fanny on her own. And they all stood around looking rather ineffectual, their feet close together and their bottoms to the wall. And some were thick and others intellectual, and some were fairly sexual and others weren't at all. There was Claire, there was Chris, there was Connie and Clarissa and Cecilia and Charity and Caroline and Kate. There was shrinking little Violet who doesn't want to marry yet, and bulging little Harriet who can't afford to wait. Clarissa, you could kiss her, you could meddle with Marissa, and Vanessa, you could press her and caress against the wall. You could have fun with Nicola, but if you tried to tickle her, you'd end up with Virginia who wouldn't do it all. There was Cora, Dora, Nora, Thora, Flora and Felicity, their sweetness and simplicity enchanted one and all. Though I fancied every one of them, I finished up with none of them. I went home on me bicycle from Phyllis Hooter's ball. I went home on me bicycle from Phyllis Hooter's ball. That's lovely. So it's goodbye to all that. I'm afraid all I'm interested in tonight is beginner. Goodbye, girlies, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. I'm no longer in the running, 'cause I'm past it now, you know. I just think about the old times, each dog has his day. I'll remember with affection